All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel. And yes, it's another exciting edition of As the REO Turns. That super popular soap opera is back. I really thought I had put the whole As REO Turns thing in retirement, but you never know. This music works with pretty much anything. By the way, it's brought to you by PJ Rock Super Chats, Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, and YouTube memberships. So yeah, that's soap opera music. Very annoying, but also very effective. So there's kind of like breaking news in the world of REO. Now, when I first looked at this story, I'm just like, okay, they're going back to this college in Illinois where it all started. And they're going to be like ringmasters or parade leaders or whatever they do at parades, right? Master of ceremonies. But here's the post on Facebook, and it is a little confusing. And I'm going to kind of scroll through some comments to try to figure this out. So it says here, REO Speedwagon is coming back to campus, the place where it all began, University of Illinois. In Urbana and Champaign. I hope I said Urbana right. Could it be Urbana? I don't know. Champaign, I think I got that right. So they're coming back to campus, and they're going to be part of the homecoming parade as grand marshals. That's what I thought this was. And I was like, I'm not going to report on this. This is kind of lame. They're just going to be there. But guess who's going to be there? This is pretty cool. So it's going to be Bruce, Kevin, Alan, and Neil. All right. Now, that's quite a lineup. Now, if Gary were still alive, they'd have a complete REO Speedwagon reunion from their most popular era. Doesn't say if Dave Amato is going to be there or not. Not sure who's going to represent the guitar part of REO. But here's the deal. They're going to do more than just be grand marshals at the parade. They're actually going to play with the marching band at halftime. These guys are going to be out there playing music along with the marching band. So for old school REO fans, I don't know if you can get tickets for this. I'm assuming it's, at the football game or whatnot. So yeah, they're going to be there at halftime. And so there are a lot of comments on this post because people are confused. This isn't being covered in the rock media, which I understand why it's not being covered in the rock media because it's kind of confusing. So you got to go over to Bruce Hall of REO Speedwagon over on Facebook, and you have to kind of scroll through all of the stuff regarding the reunion. No word. Someone asked about Dave Amato and didn't say. It says Dave and Brian have been kind of caught in the middle of all this. Do not envy their position one bit. Does this mean you finally get to play as a member of REO again? And the answer is kind of yes. I mean, Bruce will be there, and I think he's another deciding factor. They can call this REO Speedwagon. Bruce Hall does weigh in and answer someone and says, Neil, Alan, Kevin, and I will be performing at halftime with the University of Illinois Marching Band. No deception. Click the link to the official university post if you don't believe the actual owner / member of REO Speedwagon, which would be Bruce Hall, who is actually doing the replying. Very interesting. But a lot of people are still confused. They just think that, this is going to be some kind of again, grand marshals. But someone says, hey, is KC going to be there? Meaning Kevin Cronin. And he says, yeah, KC too. He agreed to do this 2 days ago. Apparently, this will be on NBC at 7:30. Not sure. 7:30, probably in the evening on that day. So if you want to see REO Speedwagon back together again with a marching band, not sure who's going to be the guitar player. Um, Someone says here, is Cronin actually going to let you slap that bass? I don't know if I would have phrased it that way. Just people are strange. He just replies again, Alan, Neil, Kevin, and I. So that's going to be as close to a reunion as possible. Now, again, no mention of who's going to represent the guitar part of REO. I think one of Gary's kids, I think his son, Gary Ritrath, does play guitar. I'm kind of not sure about that, but it would be cool if even if they didn't play guitar, if they were going to be there to represent the late great Gary Ritrath. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if people care anymore. I think they really screwed the pooch. Sorry to use that expression, but the branding, all the stuff, the infighting back and forth, they were already running on fumes, folks. A lot of people say to me, Dave, this doesn't even sound like REO did because Kevin doesn't sound like he used to sound. But if you're going to conclude a band, you're going to just go out and represent the brand and try to go out on a high note. You should get everybody back together for a reunion tour, right? And tell fans, hey, this is a reunion. We're going to go out in style. We're not going to go out arguing and fighting. And give Bruce Hall credit because the way he dealt with Kevin Cronin was very classy. Very classy. I'm glad he decided to pull the plug on the name because there's really no good reason other than something that wasn't being discussed for keeping Bruce Hall from being in REO Speedwagon. I still don't understand that whole thing. That's Kevin Cronin. He needs to answer for that. But you got to give Bruce Hall credit for being a class act and for also keeping these doors open because now you've got the classic lineup minus Gary Ritrath, but that's pretty cool. And we'll see if it evolves into something more. But I had retired this music thinking it wasn't going to be useful anymore, all right? But yes, another exciting edition of As the REO Turns is in the can and on the way to the Museum of Pathetic Videos that people like me do. There is no museum. I'm just kind of copying one of my mentors from long ago. Thanks for being here, folks. If you do like the channel and you want to help me, as I've said before, subscribing would be good. Also, buy me a coffee, YouTube memberships, Patreon. I'm a serious coffee person, folks. And I do need to plug Jesus here because with the world going to hell, right? The world already going to hell, never mind about what happens after you die. You should get your life in order. And how do you get your life in order? You have a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. That's it. He accepts you no matter what condition you're in. It's a free gift. It's grace. It's nothing you have to physically work for or do in order to be in with God. What you do is have faith in what Jesus did on the cross. So there you have it, folks. REO Speedwagon kind of back together again, and they'll have a marching band to give them a little bit more sound as they play this somewhat historic concert back where it all began.